What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Chad Sommer, here on Rock Bottoms Up Podcast, where we explore the challenge and triumphs of overcoming life's toughest battles. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects so many of us, food addiction and the constant battle with weight loss. We'll be discussing proven solutions to help you gain control and sustain a healthy lifestyle, whether you're struggling yourself or supporting a loved one. This episode is packed with insights and strategies to guide you on your journey. So let's jump right on into it, and I'll tell you my story and my battle with food addiction. My battle probably started at the very young age when my parents said, make sure to clean your plate. My dad was a very large man. No offense, Kim. May he rest in peace. But my dad, he was overweight most of his life, and so when dad fixed the plate, and I honestly didn't know how much food dad put on the plate until I think I was in like 8th grade, and I was in football at the time, and I had a friend come over after school because he was going to hang out for a little bit until practice. And so he came over, and we were going to eat right before we went over to practice. And Dad fixed us up both plate. We sat there, and my friend just got this scared look in his face. That was like, I thought maybe, he didn't like beef stew. Maybe he was worried that he was going to say, I'm sorry, I don't like, I don't like beef stew. But he looks at me with it, with this scared look in his eyes. And he's like, bro, I don't think I can eat all this. And I just started laughing. I just thought it was hilarious. Because again, dad fixed big plates, and this poor kid, dad fixed him a good healthy portion. And this poor boy thought he was going to have to, not to insult my dad, was going to have to finish the plate. And I'm like, listen, don't worry. Hey, I got you back. Whatever you can finish, I'll finish. So I battled weight all my life. Food was always a comfort, like I think as kids, if we did something good, we got a treat. If we did our chores, we got a treat. Social outings, going out as family was always something special to us. Going to eat fast food. I came from humble beginnings. We didn't have a lot of food, or a lot of money. So, when we did have something and we wanted to do something to celebrate, it usually revolved around food. So, going to get a pop, going to get a candy bar, these were all like ingrained in my mind as, a way of celebration. Did a good job. Not to mention, sugar's really addicting. Fast food's really addicting. So at a very young age, it was a coping mechanism for me. And so as I got older, me being an addict of, a plethora of things, food just happened to be one of them. One, it's extremely accessible. So, outings and stuff, yeah, I always ate until, I was too full. And, later in life, I topped out at my heaviest, which was probably around 400 pounds, before I had to take extreme measures, because it became a health problem. I was addicted to drugs and alcohol. I was at my heaviest, like I said, around 390, 400. The doctor gave me a year to live. And so, I had children. Um, I knew that this was a problem. I always wanted to get in control of my life. I just didn't have the willpower to do it. But given the circumstances, decided to at least, make an effort. It's not like this was the only time of my life that I've tried. I've tried, I tried losing weight my entire life. I mean, even back in high school, I remember trying to, eat healthy, exercise, but never had the willpower to stay consistent. So my doctor got me on a plan. We were going to do the gastric sleeve. It took me probably when I actually got enrolled into the program to get the gastric sleeve. I got the gastric sleeve done in 2019. It probably took me about 2 years, about a year and a half before I was able to get that surgery done. And what worked for me during that time is I got on a diet plan called the caveman diet plan. And basically what that was is you ate your meat, your proteins, your vegetables, your fruits, that's it. You only drink water, nothing else. Everything as far as condiments went out the door, no salt, obviously. So I started using a lot of herbs. Cilantro was one of my favorites. Pepper, just any type of spice or seasoning that wasn't going to add any salt or additional calories to my food. And then I added um what they call intermediate fasting. And so I wouldn't, let's see, I would stop eating around 4 o'clock. I'd eat my last meal about 4 o'clock. And I generally would only eat 2 meals a day. Not saying that that's the most healthiest plan, because you know what? We're all different human beings. So whenever you choose to make that step, especially those who have health conditions, or in that category of obese, definitely discuss anything with your doctor, because you want to make sure that you're not causing more harm to your body than what's already going on. So I did the caveman diet, intermediate fasting. I started exercising very slowly because I was very overweight. In 2017, I went through a hip replacement, and so exercise started off very, very slow for me. It started off literally just 5 minutes a day of walking. That's what I started with. I started with 5 minutes of walking. And then, I kept a journal of what I ate. I kept a journal what I weighed. I'd weigh myself every day. I kept a journal of my exercise progress. So when I decided to go on Caveman, I still ate the same portions as I normally would. It just would be healthy. So I would still eat a lot. But it was, like I said, it was all healthy. Not saying that this is the best plan for any of you, but I didn't cut my portion sizes. But then eventually, as I continued to progress, with that journal, I would start cutting my portions week by week, smaller by smaller. Exercise, 5 minutes one week, I'd add a two minutes the next week, so on and so forth. I'd weigh myself every day, just because I knew people have food allergies. And so, I would document what I ate, and if I weighed a certain amount one day, and then the next day all of a sudden my weight fluctuated, 3, 5 pounds, I would take an assessment of that. And I'd be like, okay, what did I eat? And so, I mean, getting healthy, you guys, there's no easy button here. Unless you there are surgeries, like I did get the gastric. There is liposuction, but for long term, you're going to have to just bite the bullet, and you're going to have to commit yourself to a different way of living, because the way you have lived up until now apparently hasn't been working for you. So what does that mean? That means change. Is change easy? No. Why is change hard? Because a part of you has to die, and a new part of you has to be accepted, and that's the new part of you that is going to help prolong your life, live a happier, healthier life, and that's what you need to commit yourself to, commit your thought process to, because life's a journey, no doubt about it. But journal was important. So if you haven't tried a journal yet, I would suggest a journal. So I kept on cutting back my food portions, still eating healthy. Exercise started to progress to the point where, I was, what I call running. Some people would call a brisk walk, but I got to the point where I was at least jogging, for up to 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then I would walk for 2 to 5, and I just continually progress my exercise, continued to watch my weight, continued to cut back portions. I think when I started on the journey of the gastric sleeve, I was around 390. When I went in for surgery, I think I was around 290, I believe. I think I was 100 pounds when I got the gastric sleeve. And then from the gastric sleeve and, working with my nutritionist, I lost a lot of weight. I went from 290 all the way down to 152. And I actually have pictures of myself when I got down to 152. And I still have a tough time looking at those pictures, because I couldn't believe how skinny I actually had gotten. And I'm not saying that it was a healthy skinny either. Um, uh, you could like my ribs, like where my ribs were, like my gut was like sunken in. It was so crazy. I mean, it was crazy. The pictures are still crazy to look at. And if I could somehow figure out technology and put those pictures from my heaviest to my skinniest, I'll try to do that. Don't hold your breath, but I'll try to do that. Maybe I can put it at the end of the show and just show you a comparison from when I was my heaviest, around that 390, 400, to where I was at my skinniest. So it went down to 152, was able to, start exercising, eating healthy, pretty much sticking to my diet. I started slipping a little bit and started implementing things that were not supposed to be in my diet, like pop. I started introducing pop, desserts, god darn it, desserts and fast food. The huge that usually gets us in trouble, that aren't good for us, that we tend to have a tough time with. Started cooking with cream and butter and salt and sugar. Listen, I'm not trying to invent the wheel here. You get it. And started getting a little greedy, started getting a little cocky. I maintained about 175, 180 for about 3.5, 4 years, I think, maybe 3.5 years, 3 years. And then it caught up with me. It caught up with me that stomach was able to stretch itself out a little bit. Your boy enjoyed too many desserts. started eating later at night. So I went from 175, and I think the heaviest that I've gotten on scale so far is 335. And if any of you are watching me on Facebook, or TikTok or Instagram, I think I'm documenting it all on those platforms. The Crazy Eye Guy, by the way. I think I just weighed in around 229.3. And from last week, I think I was at 232 or 231. So I lost a few pounds. So thank God I'm headed in the right direction. How are we doing it? Haven't exercised yet. We're just cutting back on the delectables. We're cutting back on the energy drinks, the sugars. We're doing the best that we can, not eating late at night, and we're implementing a lot healthier meals. So me and baby girl, that's where we're at right now. We are taking some supplements that are helping us there. So that's kind of been my journey. So I personally, like I said, I think I'm at 229 right now. I am battling shoulder surgery I just had in January. Last week, out of nowhere, had a huge setback. Well, went into my orthopedic just the other day, and we gotta go do an MRI. We gotta figure out why I'm having pain and why I have lost the strength in my arms. So I will take any prayers, any positive energy, any of that good vibes. I don't want a huge setback. I hope there's nothing too extreme going on, because I would hate to start this process all over again. But that's where I am in my weight journey, and it's a struggle. I mean, I have friends, family that have battled their weight their entire life, and it's not easy. Well, I'm going to give you 10 proven solutions to help people struggling with weight loss and food addiction. First off, what is going to be essential for you to get in control of your weight, your eating habits is get yourself on the right path of hitting your ideal weight. And that one thing that has helped me to do that is a calorie counter. You're going to be able to, put your BMI, put your height, put your weight, put your age. This is gonna help you kind of focus in. If you're a calorie counter, this is going to kind of help you keep track of what you put in your body, because you'd be really surprised. You'll be extremely surprised on just eating like healthy, how many carbs are just in freaking vegetables, or how much sugar is in fruit. I mean, granted, what some people will say, is healthy carbs, if your body can process them a lot easier, a lot healthier. Sugars, a lot easier, a lot healthier. Still counts as carbs and sugar. So a calorie counter, if you haven't done one already, I would suggest it, just because they're so advanced these days. They get really intrusive. I mean, they'll set alarms, but it's a way that you can kind of keep ahead of your calorie count or your carb count each day as you try to maintain a healthy balanced diet. The one that I personally have used is called Lose It. Now this is an app that you do have to pay for, and I think you can do a one-time payment of like $100 for a lifetime. But the app is good with keeping up to date, as you can scan barcodes, let me know you know, exactly what you're getting in each item of food, canned food, packaged food, whatever the food may be. We'll get it right down to the statistics of things. So first and foremost, the number one thing that you want to do is obviously plan a balanced diet out for yourself. Focus on whole foods like fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. Whole grains is debatable. Um, I tried to obviously a few things that I've tried to keep out of my diet, obviously, are fried foods, sugars, and processed carbohydrates like breads, noodles. And I definitely try to limit rice and try to substitute that for, you know, beans or quinoa instead of rice. Another thing, if you are capable, regular exercise. You, you know, I think everybody has this ideology of what exercise looks like. Exercise could be as simple as sitting in your chair and kicking your knees up. It doesn't have to be extreme or rigorous. You know, you can do a lot of exercises just sitting in your chair. If you don't believe me, it's worth the Google. You know, I mean, Google is a great place for resources. So if you need to adjust your exercise, your daily exercise, Google's a great place to start. Especially, you know, if you have limitations. You can still get your exercise in. Like for instance, I'm doing resistance strengthening. Well, I was doing resistance strengthening with just something simple as you know, elastic bands tied around a doorknob. There's several ways you can get your exercise with just a little bit of resistance training. Not to mention walking. Walking's like ideal if you can get out and walk. It's ideal. But they say aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week. Now, obviously, again, you're going to have to talk with your doctor because, you know, if you're 700 pounds at 150 minutes of exercise, that's pushing it. I mean, you don't want to risk anything, but go for a brisk walk. If you're a biker, get on, do some cycling or swimming. Swimming, Google swimming. Swimming is a great form of exercise because you're using the entirety of your body, your muscles. So those are just a couple, you know, a couple of things that you can do to exercise. Like I said, you know, everybody's different, everybody's body's different. So what works for me may not work for you. But like I said, it's worth a Google. Number three, be mindful of eating. So you definitely want to pay attention to what and when you eat. I am huge. I am a huge advocate for cutting off eating if you can. It's not ideal for everybody, and it depends on your sleep schedule as well. But if it just depends on when you go to bed, but give your body a chance to digest before you go to sleep. You don't want to eat and then all of a sudden go to bed. It's one of the, it's worth a Google. One of the worst things you could do for yourself is have your body try to digest your food while you're sleeping. Because you know, during your sleep time, you don't want your body focused on digestion. You want your body to do what it's supposed to do, and while it rests is to heal and repair your body. So if you can cut your last meal off and give yourself about 4 to 5 hours before you go to bed, that would give your body enough time to digest and process that food before you go to sleep. So it can work on, you know, again, like I said, help repair your body. Um, Also, pay attention attention and avoid distractions like TV or smartphones during meals, and really begin to savor your food. I know that sounds stupid. I know, like when I read it, I'm like, man, that is dumb. But it's all psychology. Um, you definitely want to, especially when you're eating healthy, um, you want to take that time to really enjoy your meal. Be grateful for your meal. Because it's really hard, going from eating crap to eating healthy. It's really difficult, but it took me about a month and a half before I could really begin to start to taste my food. And I know that sounds really stupid, but I think it's just because of all the sugar, fats, preservatives that I was getting in my body. It just kind of almost numbs your taste buds, and you need like all these enhancements in our food to be able to taste anything. So once once that got out, once the chemicals or whatever got out of my body, about a month and a half, all of a sudden I could really begin to start to savor and taste my food. Number four, portion control is huge. If you have eaten until you are full, you've eaten too much. Plain and simple. You don't want to eat until you bust the gut. So smaller plates and measure your portions to avoid overeating is going to be huge here. Definitely be mindful of your portion size. It can definitely help reduce your calorie intake. And again, what's going to help you there? Your calorie counter. Healthy snacks, that's a big one, because especially when you start start this journey of eating healthy, exercising, trying to lose weight. Healthy snacks is ideal. So you definitely want to choose healthy snacks. Some healthy snacks for me were like nuts, fruits, instead of like, high calorie sugars. You definitely want to stay away from them chips, them chaps, I like to call them, and saturated, greased up chaps that taste so dang good. So definitely give yourself healthy snacks. I used to hate this, but that vegetable medley, the fresh raw vegetables, the cauliflower, the broccoli, the carrots, that used to be my go-to along with nuts. And so if I was hungry, I definitely would go to that. It was tough for me for a while, but you know what? If there was a craving there or I was hungry, that was a go-to. Also, here's a little food for thought. Water is extremely important. I'm sure we'll talk about that here in a second. Water is extremely important. Guys, when you wake up in the morning, just let this sink in for a second. When you wake up in the morning, you have rested what, 6 hours, if you're lucky, right? Well, think about it this way. Your body has gone without hydration for 6 to 8 hours. So the first thing you want to do when you wake up in the morning, drink a nice big cup of water. Get yourself hydrated. A lot of people who are tired in the morning, have headaches, sluggish, it could be contributed to dehydration. So a good health, a good healthy step that you would like to incorporate in your daily routine is waking up and drinking a big cup of water. I have friends right now that couldn't drink a cup of water even if you held a gun to their head. Like it is that difficult. That like I'm not even joking. I mean, you couldn't even get them to drink water and splash a little bit of lemon or lime in it, and they'll drink water. I don't know. It's their bugaboo, it's their cross to bear in this life. They have to add some type of, those little squeeze it water enhancements, they have to do that in order to drink water. For them, I am very sorry. That's extremely hard because water is so important. And having to add any type of those additives, I personally would stick away from. I would definitely not incorporate that into my into my health plan, my diet plan, in exercise and in getting healthier. Number 6, you guys, you got to have people that support you. So, here in today's age where we have the accessibility of the internet, Facebook has a ton of them, and that's support groups. Obviously, I'm very lucky. Baby girl, she is my support group. Somebody who, we challenge ourselves. Sometimes we enable each other, but that's something that we are working on. But there are support groups out there. So join a support group, a community, whether in person or online. This can provide motivation and accountability, which we need. Like me, as somebody who has been or have had an issue with drugs and alcohol, support groups are extremely important. Having that support group, I mean it, as an alcoholic and an addict, when I was having a bad day and negative thoughts were coming into my head, one of the action steps for me was phone a friend. I had to get out of that frame of mind. Guess what? When you're, craving a snack, or, you're staring at the golden arches and you're like, I could really go for a McFlurry and pound a double cheeseburger right now. This would be the time, you guys, to take that step and phone a friend and say, "Hey, I'm getting tempted. I'm craving a blizzard right now," or I'm in the convenience store, or I'm in the grocery store, and I accidentally wandered into the bakery aisle, and they've got a cheesecake for half off, and that's a good deal. You can't pass up on a good deal. I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't buy this good deal. You know how we rationalize and justify everything. This is the time. It's not weak. I'll preach this to the day I die. It's not weak fighting for something that is going to help you live a happy, more meaningful life. It's not weak fighting for your life. It's just not. It's not weak. It takes courage to phone a friend. It takes a lot of courage to phone somebody. It takes a lot of courage to ask for help. So, crush that stigma. Crush it all the heck. And so when you're getting tempted, you want to get, you're craving your coffee, you want that Starbucks with all the trimmings, with all the extras, the whipped toppings, and the 5 pumps of chocolate, and you're sitting there and you're battling yourself. You don't have to battle this alone. Get your support group. Get involved in and join a support group, become friends with somebody, find a family member or friend that is willing to do the same thing or is doing the same thing, and reach out. It's not weak. It's courageous. It's taking courage and fighting for what you want. That's not weak. You don't have to do this alone. Therapy is huge. Sometimes, our eating habits have to deal with, some form of trauma, that is gone unhealed. And so, cognitive behavior therapy called CBT, can help address the psychological aspects of food addiction and develop, healthier habits. This is just, yeah, it's worth a Google. Regular sleep, regular sleep, exercise, water, those are key ingredients for a healthier lifestyle. So try to get yourself at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep if you can. Lack of sleep can lead to increased hunger and cravings. Okay, that's just science. Worth a Google. Stay hydrated. We talk about it. Water all day, day. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. Sometimes you just being thirsty and dehydrated could be mistaken for hunger pains. So that was another thing that I implemented. If I was, feeling snacky, and I hadn't gotten my water in. Everybody has their own idea of water. Your water, you drink water, you can only digest and retain so much water. So if you're drinking like 2 gallons of water today, chances are your body has enough water in it, and you're just peeing it out, and it's not doing you any good. I can't remember exactly the amount of water that you should have per day, so that's worth the Google. I'm thinking when I got my surgery, I think they were suggesting anywhere from 32 to 64 ounces of water a day. So when I felt snacky, and I was getting my water, then I'd reach for that healthy snack, that vegetable raw, those raw vegetables, that vegetable medley, some nuts. Or if I hadn't had gotten my water in, I would drink water, drink a lot of water till my tummy got full. I'm like, okay, on we go. Stress management is huge, guys. Practice stress reducing techniques like meditation, deep breathing exercises like yoga, to prevent emotional eating. Um, Meditation's really hard, but it definitely, and it's worth a Google. It's definitely a way of you getting in control of your thought patterns. At least taking control of your mind is huge. Um, by doing meditation, that helps me because I'm able to use that time to focus on one, just sitting there with my thoughts, and also my addictions. I take that time to go over my positive affirmations. I'll go over situations if I was brought into a situation where I was tempted with this, that, and the other. In order to keep ahead of myself, I would meditate, and these are some of the practices that I would use. And you can use this with food, use that meditation to think that, hey, I know I've got to get gas today. I know I've got to go in and pay. I'm going to be looking at the candy aisle. I'm going to look at the pop aisle, yada, yada, yada. The power of you imagining that and telling yourself no is going to help you manifest that time that you're going to be able to give yourself strength to say no, because you already went through it in your head. So use that time of meditation however you want, but it's first stress relief. So you definitely want to manage your stress. The toughest thing for me in overcoming any of my addictions, aside from being addicted to fast food, desserts, and drowning everything in some sort of gravy or some sauces. And I'm not even going to get into talking about cooking everything with cream and butter and salt and sugar and all the good goods. I had to overcome the feeling of being left out. Now this is a childhood trauma thing. This is a childhood thing that I have had to work through in therapy and was feeling left out or that I couldn't participate, feeling isolated and that I was different from everybody else because I didn't want to feel different. There are a few suggestions that here are a few suggestions that might help you overcome the same mental blocks that I have had to overcome in my weight loss journey. And one, focus on health, not restriction. Shift your mindset from what you can't have to what you can enjoy. Focus on nourishing and delicious foods that make you feel good and fuel your body. 2, find joy in healthy alternatives. Explore and experiment with healthy recipes that mimic your favorite treats. Now, me and Baby Girl have done this, and it's been a great way, great substitute to make us still feel like, we're kind of cheating, but we're not. There are many creative ways to enjoy food without compromising your healthy goals. And again, it's worth a Google. You want a Rice Krispie treat and you can't make it the way you want? Google it. Healthy Rice Krispie alternatives. Number 3, build a supportive community. Surround yourself with people who understand your journey. Join support groups, either in person, online, where you can share experiences, recipes, and encouragement. That's really important. 4, educate loved ones. Help friends and family understand your goals and the importance of your dietary choices. When they understand, they're more likely to be able to support you. 5, practice mindful eating. Pay attention to how different foods make you feel physically and emotionally. Enjoy the process of eating, savoring each bite, which can make you feel more satisfied and less deprived. 6, celebrate non-food activities. I mean, that's a good one. So instead, as a family, you go to celebrate. Shift those activities away from food centered events and do something different. Go out on a walk. Plan on experiencing the wild. Go on little nature hikes. Maybe have movie nights without the popcorn and pop. Try to find different creative ideas, like maybe game night or something that you can do with the family or with friends and others. Number 7, make sure you're being kind to yourself and not acknowledge that it's okay to feel like you're missing out sometimes. It's okay. I mean, it's natural. But practice self-compassion and remind yourself why you made these choices and how they benefit your overall well-being. 8, seek professional help. We kind of talked about this. If feelings of isolation or deprivation are overwhelming, consider talking to a therapist or a counselor who specialize in eating disorders or food addictions. 9, set realistic goals. Understand that your journey is unique. You're unique. Your body is unique. Nobody's the same. So don't compare yourself to anybody. Set small, achievable goals and celebrate your progress, no matter how minor it may seem. 10, remember your why. Keep a journal or a reminder of why you chose this path. Reflect on your health goals, the way you feel after eating well, and the long-term benefits you're working towards. Now, here's something that will kind of help encourage you, during those times of feeling isolated, or maybe times of temptation where you want to eat something unhealthy. Come up with your own your own positive affirmations, but positive affirmations are going to support your healthy eating and your exercise goals. So here's one that you can say to yourself: I choose foods that nourish my body and make me feel energized. 2, exercise helps me feel strong, confident, and capable. 3, I have the power to make choices that benefit my health and well-being. 4, resisting unhealthy food shows my commitment to a healthier, happier me. 5, every healthy choice I make brings me closer to my fitness and wellness goals. 6, sticking to my plan. and resisting foods that are bad for me proves I care about myself and strengthens my confidence and self-esteem. That is facts. Now, by focusing on these strategies, you can build more positive relationships with food and reduce feelings of isolation, finding joy and satisfaction in your journey towards health. I know this is easier said than done, but I promise you, if you practice these steps, you will reach your goal of living a happier and healthier life. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Rock Bottoms Up today. Remember, the road to overcoming food addiction and achieving lasting weight loss is a journey. It's definitely not a sprint. Celebrate each small victory and be kind to yourself along the way. You're not alone in this fight, and together we can create a healthier, happier future. If today's episode resonated with you, please subscribe to our podcast and share with anyone who might be battling this addiction. Let's spread hope and support to everyone in need. Until next time, stay strong, you guys, and keep moving forward. I love you, and we will see you next time here on Rock Bottoms Up podcast. Sober and staying alive, staying alive. I'm sober and staying alive. Jesus,